ArsenalFanTV, Mo, emphatic in the end today?
In the end, yeah. You know, credit to Lincoln, because, you know, I think because Arsenal played Sutton away in the last round of this cup, we didn't really get much of that narrative this time, especially what was going on with us in our club, with our problems. So we didn't really appreciate the romance of it and just the sheer occasion of what it was today. And it was the first time in over a century that a non-league team has been in a quarter-final of an FA Cup. And, you know, for the aforementioned reasons, that was lost on us today. So huge occasion for Lincoln. And the fact that they lost 5-0, I mean, it really should be 5-0. So they haven't done themselves a disservice at all today by losing by that scoreline, because ultimately they are, you know, I don't even know the number of how many places below us they are in the football pyramid, but a huge amount of positions below us. So credit to them, credit to their fans, were absolutely brilliant. It actually reminded me of what Arsenal fans were like when we went away at Old Trafford and Welbeck scored the winner. It was they produced that sort of atmosphere. It was absolutely brilliant. They were very noisy, and yeah, credit to them. Head held high for them.
And a bit of confidence for us. We needed that.
I don't know. I mean,
confidence at a 5-0 win. Listen, we know it's only against Lincoln.
Yeah.
It's only against Lincoln, but it's 5-0. It's still players scoring goals.
Ultimately, look, it's a win. A win will always breed a little bit of confidence. But if I was a player, I wouldn't be reading too much into it, because, you know, it is only Lincoln, isn't it? But yeah, look, obviously, you can only beat who's in front of you, and we did that today, and we did it emphatically. We couldn't ask for much more. So yeah, we're all leaving happy, which is, you know, I can't remember the last time that we did that. And yeah, you know, if the players can, you know, just eke a little bit of confidence from this result, then great. That's what we want, and hopefully the fans as well.
What was this banner thing I heard about?
Yes,
you said you had a banner coming at the start of the game. I didn't see it.
I'm glad you asked. So the banner today, I was being a little bit mischievous, right? Because when something good comes out, it gets no press. It's just the way of the world. You look, when something non-offensive and good comes out, no one really cares about it. It doesn't get any attention. So today I thought what I'd do is I'd create a little bit of false hype. I'm sorry if I was a little bit deceitful. A little bit of false hype over a banner that gets put out here many times. And it was just the giant cannon crowd surfer banner that Red Action use regularly. And the point that I wanted to make today is that we all lose our minds when a divisive banner comes out. Everyone covers it. The media relish the opportunity to, you know, broadcast the problems at Arsenal, and people talk about it, and people get very passionate about it. But where is that passion week in, week out for just the Arsenal? Just something as simple as that. Something that, you know, represents every single one of us. You know, what sort of fan, other than Piers Morgan, who wanted Arsenal to lose today, would not be proud of that giant cannon that comes out? And that's, you know, I accept I was a little bit mischievous, but that was my point today, that I wanted to draw attention to that. It's not just, you know, divisive, negative stuff that gets unveiled in our crowd. There's also some, you know, really good supporters. And even against Bayern, for example, we got battered 5-1, and I thought the support that day was absolutely brilliant. You know, even in the last few minutes of the game, we were singing in the North Bank Lower, and we were applauding our players off, because we realised, yeah, there was a bit of fight, you know. So Arsenal fans get a lot of stick, but I just wanted to readdress that a little bit today and say that, look, you know, there was a banner that does represent us all, and, you know, we're not actually all that bad, Arsenal fans.
Arsene Wenger, though, his statement that he said, he goes, he will take into account what people in the crowd say and stuff like that. Now, when he looks at your tweet, and when he looks at the lack of sort of people having a go at him inside the ground, he might be looking at it and thinking, well, actually, ain't that bad. Yeah, I mean, not too bad.
God, maybe you're good at your job, man. You are good at your job.
You know what?
You took an innocent, positive cannon banner. You mix it up in your pot of yours, and boy, you came back with that. I rate you. That is impressive.
But listen,
listen.
Hold on. This ain't even no joke, right? Because he may be looking on it and thinking to himself, you know what? I know a lot of people are against me, but it's not as bad as many people think.
Look, you know, I think Arsene Wenger, the fact that he came out and said, yeah, we'll take into account the fans and everything like that, gives oxygen to what is going on in terms of the protest. And so be it. Fair play. What I don't want, and people always try and create this, they're kind of like shots fired when I'm talking about a positive, non-divisive banner. This is not about anyone else or any other banner. This is about, you know, just there is a bit of positivity even amongst all the hardship that we're going through as a club. And that's what I'm talking about. You know, in terms of what everyone's doing in terms of protests and banners, banners, go for it. If you believe in something and you're doing it in a way that is not, you know, abusive or morally wrong, then go for it. You know, I've got no problem with it. I walked past it today, and these are, you know, a couple of hundred people that are really passionate about their club. So, look, as far as I'm concerned, Arsene Wenger should pay attention to what the fans are feeling and what he wants. And, you know, maybe I saw one of the banners today at the protest had Wexit on it, you know, and maybe the club need to do a fan referendum, maybe do a member referendum where you say, look, what do you want? But of course the fans' opinion should be taken notice of, and ultimately, you know, we as fans, or not, I'm not going to say we because I wasn't part of that protest, but the protesters that are doing their thing, that is what they should be doing. If they truly believe that it's for the benefit of the club, that is what they should be doing. Because the worst thing is this apathy where you see your club regressing and you don't do anything about it. I'm quite happy that that passion still exists in the club. What the club need to do is learn to harness.
They're going to be right to fly a plane over West Brom, which is the next thing apparently that they got planned. Is that the right thing to do?
You know, it's tough because on one hand I was slating United fans for it, but look, I don't feel embarrassed of the actions of other people, right? So I'm not going to come out and say it's embarrassing. Whatever medium you want to choose, my only two requisites are it's not abusive and it's not morally wrong. And flying a plane over isn't any of those things. So yeah, fair enough, go for it. If that's how you want to express your opinion, go for it. Difference is that, you know, when United did it, they obviously didn't give their manager any time. They hounded him out. And on reflection, when you look at his record at the point he got fired compared to some other managers, he wasn't actually that bad, but he just wasn't fashionable enough of a manager for them. Arsenal have obviously underperformed quite a while now, so I understand that there's a lot more build-up to this. But yeah, if that's what they want to do, listen, I'm not going to be a hypocrite. You know, when it comes to time for change, people saying to me, oh, you look like an idiot holding up a piece of A4 paper. That's fine if that's your opinion, but I'm not going to criticise people holding up papers or holding up banners or flying a plane over, because if you feel passionately about something, do something about it. Don't just sit there burning your fingers on Twitter and wasting your time.